one game. It's one game. But that should have been a W. Should have been a W. But it's only one game. 37 more wins to go. You see, every team has their Neymar. Every team has their R9. Every team has their Romari, who's at the stadium. Every team has their Zard, their Messi, their Cristiano, and so forth. It's your star player. And when your star player balls, you normally say, what's up? If your star player doesn't ball, things get tricky. Things get tricky. Things get tricky. And our own resident Maradona from St. Kitts and Nevis did not have his greatest game. He wasn't trash, but did not have his greatest game. As in, when the main character balled, we won a World Cup. And we all know what the main character did in our World Cup final. But when you see the main character not have his very best game, whether it's technically, whether it's creatively or creating chances or not in his groove, the team suffers. And the main character did not have the greatest game. Now, he got a little bit better in the second half when Chelsea were now pushing for that extra goal as he was now finding pockets. But knowing how good the main character is and what the main can do, he was well below his standards. We're talking about one of the best players in the world. We're talking about arguably the most talented player in the Premier League. So we know that his levels are optimum high. We're talking like freaking overall GOAT levels here. So he didn't have the greatest game, but it's only one game. It's only one game. Why is that so? Maybe it's the Club World Cup. Maybe, especially teams who took part in the Club World Cup and won the Club World Cup, it's going to take time for these teams to get back into the groove and really get back into their right psyche of being able to say what's up. Because I tell you right now, if the main character plays at his best, this team is different. This team is different. And we've reached a stage where Chelsea go as far as the main character takes them. That's the reality now. There are quality players in this team. There are amazing players in this team. But it is obvious that the heart and soul of this team, the creative spark of this team, comes from the main character. So, and that's what maybe you have to bring it in Maresca to be like, okay, if Jermaine doesn't have his best game, do you have a plan B? Do you have a plan C? Do you have other guys? Do you have other creative channels to say what's up? And there are plenty of other creative channels that Chelsea can say what's up in, but they don't really see that in this game. They don't really see that in this game. So look, we know what he can do. We know what he can do. But the main not having his very best game ultimately cost Chelsea. It ultimately did, because there was no other player who could now take up the creative burden to now say what's up. Like if Messi didn't have a good game, Iniesta can say, yo, what up, baby, I'm here. Like Modric doesn't have a good game. Marcelo can say what's up. Bill can say what's up. So you need another guy to say what's up, and that's why we're going to get to the VAR. We'll get to the VAR and why the VAR is so important for this team, and especially the role that he's given in this team. Shout out to Caicedo, because this links into what I want to say. Caicedo is a starter. Caicedo, he's one of the best midfielders in the world, 100%. What he does both defensively, solidifying the midfield, and just giving the midfield that personality it needs, Caicedo is crucial. So we're not here for Caicedo. Caicedo did what he did here. Like he did his role. Maintain dominance of that midfield and control. So it's about who partners Caicedo. And my thing here is this, is that, you see, it's only been Enzo Caicedo. And I think probably I think Maresca likes Enzo because they both have the same first name. I don't know. But there is a narrative now brewing here, because it seems as if for Maresca, you now have to make a big decision here. Like Enzo has come up with key clutch goals, key clutch plays. But the question is this Caicedo's partner? There is no debate about Caicedo. Caicedo is one of the first names on the start sheet. It's who partners Caicedo. And I'll be real with you, Enzo wasn't great today. He was hardly effective. He didn't have much of an effect in the game. And when you have a midfield, especially if you have a two, one stays, one goes. Again, I've played football before, world knows. When you're in a midfield two, one stays, one goes. One does defensive work, one does offensive work. Whether it's Iniesta and Xavi, Iniesta goes, Xavi stays. Whether it's Real Madrid, Toni Kroos stays, Modric goes. But there was not that guy who was really adding that attacking offensive impetus to now say what's up. Because Caicedo can do both. But you want Caicedo just being inside that midfield and just operating in there. And we needed Enzo to try and now offer some offensive Lassini that he wasn't offering. Which is why he had a good preseason. Now, horrible miss. Like, I'm sorry, Andre Santos, there's no excuse. You hit the targets, that's a goal. You hit the targets and put that in the corner, that's a goal. So for Andre Santos, he knows that you have to score that. You have to score that. You have all the time in the world just to pick your position and boom, score that, we win. Easy W. But Andre Santos may need to start. He may need to start because I believe that it's looking as if he may be the better option to partner Caicedo in that midfield. Now, obviously, Enzo, he's had a lot more experience and let's put him in there. But Maresca, you need to make a big decision because a decision may need to be made where, I think it's time for Santos to now start. I think it's now time for Enzo with his choppy self just to sit down for a moment and let's see how Caicedo and Santos can cook in that midfield. Because I just think that Andre Santos, he's younger, he's more dynamic, he's much more athletic. He offers just a different psychology. He just offers something different characteristically in that midfield. And if it becomes stagnant and people now sort of suss out what Enzo and Thingy and Caicedo are about, you need to bring in an Andre Santos. Let's get some Jogo Benito up in this piece. Because I think once Andre Santos came on, Chelsea's midfield looked a lot more lively because the issue was too many long balls, no triangles being made, no real control, no patterns of play. The balls that were playing were not very interesting, so there was no dynamism. There was no definition to the play. There was no definition to the play, and that might be because that midfield it wasn't balanced well enough, and the midfield didn't take enough control of the game. And let's put it, Palace might have won that midfield battle, or at the very least, it was a 50-50 battle, and that shouldn't be against a Chelsea team at the freaking crib. You see, my thing here is, what is Maresca's viewpoints for Reece James? Like, what is his role here? Because I believe Reece James's role is you're a modern right back. Do you know Reece James is one of the best crossers of the ball out there? So my thing is that maybe I'm wrong, maybe I missed something. Hardly in the game did I see Reece James get to the byline and put in a cross. Hardly did I see Reece James provide an overlap and make a diagonal run into the 18-yard box for Palmer to now play him through. So my thing is, Reece James, he's an attacking fullback. What makes him such a rare talent is his excellence defensively. He's an extremely good crosser of the ball, and he's extremely good at shooting. He's an amazingly rare, talented right back. And in this game, I don't know whether it's tactics or him. There were not enough plays where, okay, Neto, you have the ball. Reece James is on the overlap. Play to him on the overlap. He has the ball. Okay, Reece James is now making a diagonal run into the box. Now let's add. So if, let's say, Palmer couldn't have a great game, the plan B is Reece James. Let's not get Reece James into attacking areas. Let's not provide the space for Reece James, whether that's through a Neto, a Caicedo, so now put Reece James into space, play him into space so he can now attack the play and put in a dangerous cross for a Pedro, a dangerous cross for a lap, or a cutback for a Caicedo running through, or a cutback for a Palmer running through. We know what Reece James can do defensively, but what he can do offensively is key. And I just feel that Maresca likes Reece James as a midfielder rather than as a attacking right back. Put it this way, the way Luis Enrique uses Hakimi, that is how Reece James should be used. Where no, he's literally he's like an extra winger. But it feels as if when Neto has the ball, he's just in ISO. And there isn't that Reece James who literally is that to balance it. Reece James should be like Cafu or like Roberto Carlos. Forget that. 2025. How Hakimi is used for PSG is how Reece James should be used. Reece James should literally be another attacking weapon for this team. So whether Neto comes in a lot more narrow to provide more space or not waiting for Reece James, make him do that. Maresca, you're not utilizing arguably our most talented player. Jimin is that guy. But in terms of an overall talent, of course, Reece James is our most talented player. He's the most talented player. Like, yes, the superstar is Jermaine. The biggest talent is Reece James, and I don't think you're really fully utilizing There's talent. What Hakimi has been doing for PSG is what Reece James should be doing for Chelsea. 100%. And Maresca, you need to wisen up. And where do I want to go with this? Okay. No. Okay, let me do this because look it through. My thing here is this. Look, one game, both didn't do great. But it's one game, they're getting it through. Like, Pedro, it didn't happen for him. He wasn't getting in good positions. People didn't put him in good positions. He hardly had a sniff, and he really did not really affect the game much. So all I'll say is it's just one game. We know what he can do. We know what he did in the World Cup semi. We know what he did in the World Cup final. So I'm just going to say, because it's a different kind of a game. Very good defensive team, extremely well organized. It's a very well organized team. So we know how good Palace are. So the more that Pedro can just play, because Pedro and Delap, they're two very different strikers, that's what I like about it. For Delap, you know that's route one. He's a target man. And he's a guy that you can now play to his strengths in terms of what he can do early, what he can do physically. Like, he's a PMP merchant. And let's be real. I'm all for PMP guys. Because as long as you're effective, who cares if you're PMP? And my dear friend Churchill, he's a PMP merchant and you can place him. Pedro, that's more of a footballer. That's more of a technician. That's a guy that really promotes his touch a lot more. That's where you don't have to now play the ball on the ground. We're not looking for through balls, a la the goal in the World Cup final. But this game, there just wasn't that space. And I think Pedro balls if Palmer balls, because Pedro is looking for those nice incisive passes from a boy Palmer. But let's say a Delap, that's where Reece James comes in. Because that's where Reece James can now put in a beautiful cross for someone of Delap's size and physicality to now head the ball in and now say what's up. So that's how those things will come through, bro. But look, it's one game. For both strikers, they had their 4 minutes, one game. I believe that they'll get better. Now this is where it gets real. I don't know. This Gittins dude, bro. Nah, I don't vouch for this Gittins dude. And let's be real. Until you show me why you should be part of Chelsea, you'll be called Gittins. So it works. I can't call you Gittins. Until you show me why you deserve to wear this damn badge, you'll be known as freaking Kittens. Because the way you played was like a damn kitten. And I'm like, you've not dribbled your guy. You've not made any interesting crosses. You've not beaten your man. You've not gotten to the byline. You've not created a diagonal space to now shoot on goal. Of what use are you to anybody? Like, I'm sorry, like, the fact that this guy was not really providing anything of any true worth going forward as a winger, I keep saying that, so why was this guy bought? Was he bought so we could maintain our DiCaprio settings of buying people under the age of 21, 22? For me, this signing didn't make sense. I was like, okay, look, he's a nice young up-and-comer. The fact that he's starting for Chelsea is insanity. This guy is extremely raw. I know we're close to the finished article. The sooner Chelsea get Javi Simmons, the better. And it bleeds into your boy here, the vow. It wasn't, I'll be real with you. The vow did more with his first touch than Kittens did in the entire game. And I think what this now shows that, no, Javi Simmons, that is now a priority now. Either Javi Simmons or Rodriguez is a priority. But I think for Esteval, I like the energy. I like the vibe. You can see he wants to beat his man. He wants to dribble his man. Maresca, I just think that what he needs to do is just give him the freedom to live. Because here's the thing, it links into my Reece James point. Esteval plays on the right. Reece James is a right back. You can't tell me that Esteval and Reece James combining will not make for something amazing. Where Esteval receives the ball, Reece James is making an interesting pass. I know Esteval cannot make that pass. Esteval is making an interesting run. Reece James now finds him. You have the recipe. There is a recipe there for an outstanding and a deadly and terrifying attacking combo on our right-hand side. The Vow and Rejay and the Vow on one side, bro, complete cooking, bro. We're gonna have 3 meals. So Maresca, please, Create a meal for us to cook every single team on this planet with the Vow and Rege. The Vow and Rege are going to freaking cook. But that comes back to the manager and the tactics, because the manager needs to give the Vow and Rege the platform, the freedom, the instruction to say, you go out and freaking ball. Go out and combine. Create interplays. Create one-twos. Create space. Try and let's work in training and just trying to be on that same wavelength and kind of open guys up with our intelligence, our football intuition, our telepathic nature. Because once that happens, bro, because what Chelsea was missing was creativity, was missing imagination. And creativity and imagination can either come from solo guys or a combination of guys and feeding off of the energy of guys. Because how do you create stuff? One touch, one touch, one touch. So let's come on top in the Vow and Rege. Let's have a damn meal. Let's have a damn meal, man. Look, I said again, it's one game. Disappointing 0-0 draw. But there is potential. There is potential for this team to go through. Kittens, hold the damn bench. Bring in Javi Simmons. Netso, looking sketchy but fine. Esteval, play a lot more. Unleash Rege. Play Andre Santos a lot more. He may need to be combined. And once Jermaine Palmer starts to cook, it is finito for the rest of the footballing world. He created a new goal. So this is the Yakubu goal. The degree of difficulty of this goal is insane. To watch the rest of this vid, think about becoming a Football Hut member. If you're a desktop merchant, just click on the join button below, over here. Or if you're a mobile phone merchant, just click on the join button below the video over here and join the true elite content crack addicts. Peace.